Hello, I'm Moris, and today you're in for something very completely different. Something so different, in fact, that hell, I didn't even expect to stream this, but between me being out for all of yesterday and pretty much all of today as well, I haven't really been playing much of Azur Lane. This is something I usually play in my spare time. So I thought, hey, I want to stream, and I want to play Azur Lane. There's a new event going on, which I believe is called Rondo at Rainbow's End. Yeah, Rondo at Rainbow's End. There we go. We only have the most professional streams here. Of course, I play on the Sandy server. Yeah, let's get into this. Let's have Seattle accompany us. So yeah, this is probably going to be just a fairly simple stream of me going through the usual routine that I go through when there's a new event. First we can check out the lab. I won't queue anything up yet, because it depends how our pulls go. We've got 300,000 coins. That's a lot of coins. It might not be enough though. Let's get straight to this. As you can see, I like keeping all my skills going at the same rate. So it means one of these gets wasted every day, but whatever. It's a small inefficiency, and it's a price I'm willing to pay for not having things be your hodgepodge, if you will. Lovely. Send off our ships on commissions. There we go. And do usually. What else is there to do? Do all this. Check out the shop, actually. Of course, there's the, well, event shop to check out, but the event shop, as good as it may be, we don't have the money for it. Always need more of you guys, though. Ain't cheap, but... Okay, I bought everything I want to buy, presumably. Don't really care about that. Let's just put the guild chat on. And let's see what our Juistagram has for us. We should clearly do a port chess tournament. Current year. It's quite enjoyable, actually. There's a reason it's been around for centuries when you go to try. Maybe one day. Commander Valiant says, seems another worthy opponent has appeared. I, Valiant, challenge you to a game of chess. Challenge accepted. Emblem shall be waiting for you in the library. Are you playing against yourself? You do you, but you'd learn more by playing another opponent. That is exactly what Emden's doing. She's got like sort of a split. She can split herself. If we get her, I'll be able to show off the art, but that's not something we're able to do quite yet. Given that, well, we haven't pulled for a single ship yet. Not even one. Decided to do my pulls on stream this time. No particular reason, just sort of felt like it actually. Oh yeah, and did a Juistagram post. Lutsov, I think. Randomly went to this pastry shop and got their weekly special. It was simply Rashpe. That shop's really famous. They have new specials every week. They have a new special every week. And it always sells out fast. Wow, really? Pretty lucky I managed to get some done. Look how happy she is. Can confirm and would recommend. Leave a little heart on that post. Don't think that does anything. Good idea, my darling human. Emden shall seize the title of Grandmaster. Don't think we've read that before. Let's see what Lutsov has to say. Awesome. Awesome you could join us, Commander. Let's go looking for some nice shops to get us some time. Oh, that would be definitely appreciated. Let's collect what little we have so far. There's Little Prince Eugen. Little ship's always fun. And let's see what this. Tales from the Count's Castle. The first trial. I enter the big hall, after which the doors shut behind me with a creak. Hee hee hee. A girly giggle echoed forth from the darkness. That smell about you. You're not one of us. Rows of candles along the walls lit up one after another, illuminating the staircase up to the second floor, where pallid girls sat upon grand thrones. Welcome to our abode, my lost and darling human. Most would reel in the fear at the sight of Emden, but not you. Eager to become my next meal, Why does she speak in the third person? Does she think it makes us special, or endearing, or who knows? It's an interesting character trait, I suppose. If we stretch the definition of interesting quite a bit, actually. They had a menacing aura about them, like that of a video game final boss. I'd walked into the wrong neighborhood. Sensing I'd messed up, I dialed the number on my communicator. No response. What an interesting plaything you have. Whatever its intended purpose, it will not help you in here. It seems like they were as committed to the roles as I was committed to seeing the escape room to its conclusion. Emden isn't terribly hungry, but you'll do as means to relieve boredom. You are not poor little human. Emden would like to play a little game. What say you? I walked up to Emden's throne, expecting something like a chessboard. There was a stone tablet set up for a game of tic-tac-toe. God help us. This is all we've had, and will have, to kill time for an eternity. Jesus Christ. That must be horrific. The only thing you can do is play tic-tac-toe. A fate worse than death, I might even say. Emden has never won a single game, ever lost a single game, because you're playing against yourself. Breaking this curse and resolving Emden's eternal agreement may grant you the key to escaping this place. You're saying that you're saying you'll let me go if I manage to beat you? Alright. I knew, however, that normal tic-tac-toe always ends in draw. There had to be some trick I was allowed to use. Are you ready to begin, human? If this was the only way out, so be it. I sat down and began the match. Ooh. Fancy schmancy stuff. Check out the rental outfits they have. Got a Lutsov. Lovely skin. Emden is very nice, you don't get to see the other part. It's a lot bigger than just this. And Elbing, well, I think it's got something for the more feet-inclined individuals in the world, which I'm definitely not interested in. But alas, I'm not going to rent them, because there's no real point. I'm not going to set them as secretaries or anything. I don't even have the ships yet. And if you might notice my crippling poverty here. Yes. Can you guys see my mouse? Probably. My crippling poverty. A mere 269 gems. Which is barely anything, honestly. Let's see about clearing out our dock. Misclick. So we can start getting onto the rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Now, as those of you who know me well, and perhaps some of you who don't know me well do know, however, I'm Italian, so let's say I have a bit of a bias towards the Sardinia Empire ships. Just a little bit of a bias. However, I also have a bit of a bias towards strong ships, unsurprisingly enough. Speaking of which, I need to find my Volga. Where did I put my Volga? Yes, if you think, wow, he's being pretty damn random going around things, yes, this is more or less my usual thought process playing as a lane. It's not very linear, it's quite hyperactive in a way. Just see a thing and get all excited about it. Me and as a lane. Fun combo, here you go, Volga. Yes, yes, very nice. But this is what we're interested in. Getting you to 125. You're a damn good ship. And I'm gonna keep using you, so... probably use you for my... Chapter 14 fleet, TM. Whenever can be bothered to start Chapter 14. I've done every other chapter, just fine. Just... it's a bit of a hassle. I'd have to change up my fleet formations. They're pretty adequate as is. Imperfect, sure, but adequate. Like 1 and 2 are my World 13 clearing fleets. Got Enterprise and as flagship, of course. Well, Viola, as I've renamed her. Got New Jersey or Juliet, as she's been renamed in the mob fleet, because I am an absolute monster who uses New Jersey in the mob fleet. And the other fleets are for leveling ships up. You, for example, you don't need to be here anymore. You're fully leveled up at 120. Let's see if we can replace you with someone who needs leveling. I could put Champagne in here. That's an idea. No, I'll put it Izumo. Oh no, she's in the middle of special ops, never mind. Well, when she gets out of special ops, I'll put her in here. As you can see, I've got a few ships that are at 120. Or 120 plus. But not that many, all things considered. There are people who have monstrous amounts of 120 plus ships. And I must say I'm a little bit jealous of them. But hey, the only way to improve is to play the game, right? And the best way to play this game, well, is to start rolling. So let's get right into that. So, event pools. Will we have some streamer luck going for us? Or will it just be a dismal exercise in killing my coin count? Let's find out. First roll. Yes. Finish all. Starting off immediately with a non-event SSR. That's not very helpful, but hey, it's Warspite. Everyone loves Warspite. Just don't really need you. Kinugasa, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Chicago, Suffolk, Shropshire, Portland, Aoba, and Oklahoma. Not exactly a great first pull, but I saved up some resources for this, so the ones we need to get are Emden, Lützow, Elbing, and York. So 4 ships. What's the next tempo got for us? I'll start jotting down just how many pulls I'm doing actually. That could be an idea. Starting off with Northampton this time. Chicago, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, Kinugasa, Norfolk, Elbing. Ah, good. Nice to see we've already gotten our first event ship. Got a nice voice. I'm Albing, Ironblood Cruiser. I know you're going to shun me since I'm worthless in battle. You're not going to do that? Ah, right. The only thing I have going for me is how disposable I am. You're not disposable, you're just probably gonna sit into my dock at level 80 something. Until I run out of ships that are marginally stronger than you to use in battle. What skills we got? But I love this design. I like the alternating eye colors. I think Z35 has them as well. Might be mistaken. And thankfully for the joy of all of us normal people in the world, she's not technically a KMS ship, she's an SMS. So Imperial German Navy, and not the Kriegsmarine. Which, whilst being the least problematic of all the branches of the German military in World War II, was still fairly problematic, given the nature of its work. And its employer. Can hardly be said that it was, well, filled with good people. We can hardly say that, can we? But SMS is a lot cleaner, at least. It was World War I, back before the Nazis even existed. A better place in some ways, and a worse place, but definitely a worse place than today. But I digress. I won't hit anyway. Ah. When the battle starts, increases the ship's evasion by 15%. Every 5 times the ship fires her main guns, increases the ship's firepower and AA by 5%. Can be stacked at 3 times the enemy aircraft struck down within your fleet's AA gauge. Instantly gain max stack. Okay. Doesn't really seem to have much in the way of anti-aircraft or anything really. Well, I suppose she has decent speed and torpedoes. Light cruiser. Decreases the ship's torpedo damage taken by 5%. No, 15 actually. When the ship fires her torpedoes, fires a level 10 special barrage, damage based on skill levels. If there are enemies within 30 units of the ship, the barrage is an HE attribute. If there are none, the barrage is an AP attribute. Honestly, she doesn't seem too impressive, but hey, I'm sure someone who's actually going to test her out will be able to tell us, like in the community tier list. Lock the ship. Kent. Hey! Kent, not love Kent. And of course Sussex. I love her design. Anyway, 24's in. Let's go for another 10. I can already see that the first one shouldn't be too promising. Probably another Nevada. Or Oklahoma. Oh no, it's a California. How could I have mistaken them? And another Warspite. Warspite really wants to show up. Chicago. Northampton. Pepsi Cola. London. Portland and another Northampton. I actually quite like Northampton. She's not very strong, but she is... well, she's got a nice personality. My coins are slowly dwindling. Not so slowly, actually. Chicago, Pensacola... Emden! And there's one of our SSRs. Took us a while, but hey, she showed up eventually. The little hee-hee she makes. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. The little hee-hee she makes just makes me think of Michael Jackson. Hee-hee. It is you that summoned Emden, isn't it, my darling human? I shall make real your every desire if only you surrender yourself. Submit to Emden. Submit to us. The thing that I like about reading the lines out loud in Azur is that, well, it's good practice for D&D. Being a better DM. Okay, what does she do? Emden has a CL main gun equipped in the secondary weapon slot, increases Emden's main gun damage and secondary weapon efficiency by 25%, once every 20 seconds, got a level 10 barrage, no, special barrage. It's a minus 30%. Speed debuff the enemies hit for 5 seconds. Damage is based on the skills level. If a TD main gun is equipped instead, every 10 seconds deploy a shield that lasts 5 seconds and can block up to 5 enemy shots. If the shield is destroyed rather than expiring, fires a level 10 special barrage that restores Emden's HP equal to 15% of the damage dealt. Oh, it's definitely a skill. She's moderately more tanky, although her health isn't great apparently. Off the top of my head, I do remember the SMS ships have pretty terrible stats compared to the counterparts in the KMS and other factions. Of equivalent rarity, of course, but they have fairly decent skills. At least some of them do. I think Emdem's pretty decent, but nothing incredible. At least that was the consensus on the preview. Marvels of History. Emden? When the battle starts, increases your Emden's evasion by 10%, and if your vanguard consists only of Emden, Emden is unaffected by the out of ammo debuff. So good for 1-1 fleets, I guess, which aren't really a thing anymore, but okay. If there are other Ironblood fleets, ships in your fleet, there we go. After 5 seconds, lowers your Ironblood's ship's HP by 11, increases their firepower by 10%. Every battle, when Emden sinks an enemy, increases Emden's evasion by 5%. Can be stacked up to 5 times. Not terrible. Not terrible. Next one. Renown. Tennessee. Norfolk. Cali, California. Oklahoma. The better of the two Nevada class ships. Not in terms of strength, I think Nevada's got higher luck since she didn't get, well, Nevada gambling. And she didn't get sunk at Pearl Harbor, so. In fact, I think she did quite well for herself there. But I might be mistaken. We're already at 50 whole pulls. I'm starting to feel the pressure. Another Elbing. Not gonna complain too much. A third Elbing. Shropshire. Erebus. Elba. Chicago. Norfolk. Oklahoma. And Abercrombie. Got ourselves a clothing brand here. Do a 60 pulls. All the way up to 60. Chicago. Suffolk. Kinugasa. Lützow. Lovely, we got both our SRs. Now all we want, I believe, is York. Watashi wa Lützow indeed. Let's see what she's got. The one I think, the one that might be most interesting is actually the Seydlitz. But she's in the shop, so we don't have to pull for her. And she's also, you can get her from D3 hard mode. But what have you got, Lützow? Bravery at Skagerrak. I'm sure there's some reference to naval history in there that I have missed completely. Increases the ship's main gun damage by 10%, that's nice. When the ship fires her main guns. 70% chance to fire a level 10 frontal barrage. That's good. I do believe that the barrage looks pretty strong, but once again, there are people who run the numbers on these things, and they're definitely a bit more. They've got a lot more expertise. Let's just put it that way. A lot more expertise. The hunt is on. Every time the ship sinks an enemy, increases this ship's firepower and accuracy by 5%. Stacks it 3 times, final strike, and additionally increases the reload by 15%. She'll have trouble sinking ships, but I think the last skill sort of helps in that regard, because the Marvels of History, Lützow. I guess Marvels of History are just skills that all the SMS ships get. Because, well, they're ancient history compared to the KMS, I suppose, but Azur Lane's a bit doesn't really fit into one real time period. It's, as you probably will know if you play the game. These are the ships damage dealt to battleships and battlecruisers by 10%. When an enemy sinks within 5 seconds of taking damage from the ship, this ship is also treated as the one who sank the enemy. So yeah, it's quite forgiving in that regard. So she should be able to get her buffs more easily than she otherwise would have. If the ship has an AP or SAP, armor piercing or semi-armor piercing main gun equipped, when she hits an enemy, that enemy's accuracy and firepower decrease by 10% for 3 seconds. That's not very helpful. After 3 seconds, there's a 10% chance to inflict 3,000 damage to that enemy. That's not too bad. I mean, 300 extra damage on an enemy isn't bad, it's just not amazing. It's like, on average, it's going to be 300 damage. Let's lock you up. Tennessee, because you're the only 10 I see. In fact, there's going to be 10 of you by the end of this. Portland, Chicago, and who are you? None of your business. Okay, I do believe our dock is quite full. Yep. That's not what I meant to go. No, let's collect you in the meantime. Shore up our poor coin reserves. Didn't get... Oh no, I missed you. And that's one shot I missed out on. Let's quick retire the ships that need quick retiring. You too. You all need retiring. The rest of you can be used as enhancement fodder. Because I might as well, I mean, it'll be a waste not to do this. Do we have any? Oh no, we don't have destroyers. It's essentially using a heavy pool here, so. There we go. Oh no, she's not even fully enhanced. Wow. No, let's enhance our Kangalsk. Oh no, wait, she only wants to. Oh, I'll just throw you guys in there. I'm more interested in doing this quickly than I am in doing this well. Let's get our Elbing up and running. Since we do have to, well, max limit breaker. Oh, because I got extra copies of the Immediate Lutsov. Yes, we heard the first time. And I believe most of my ships are level 87 now, so I'll boost you up to 87 too. Because I do like to have I suppose a pool of ships that are, well, in the process of very slowly leveling up. Which is the vast majority of my fleet actually. Let's also retire these 2 additional war spites that we don't exactly need. 20 metals, always nice. And 52 coins. Should help plug the bleeding hole in the heart. I got an extra Perseus for reasons. Reasons unknown even to me. So we are on our 70th pull, and we're still looking for Little Miss York over there. No, not so little. Not so little Miss York. Into the 70th set of pools, and number 1 Nevada. Exeter, that's not York. Shropshire. Hotel California. Oklahoma. Suffolk. Kent. Nelson. You're not. You're not York. You're Nelson. Wichita, you're also not Nelson. Let's get to pool number 80. Norfolk. Classic. Kent. Hey, Kent. Another Emden. Well, I suppose it saves us from using a Bulin, so that's not too bad. Northampton. And York, finally. Technically it took us like 75 pulls to complete this, well, event pulls, which I'm very happy about, by the way. The name's York. Oh no, her voice would probably be deeper. The name's York. I'm a cruiser. As of today, I'm in your hands. State your orders, and I'll make my goals and desires one and the same as your directives. A wonderful arrangement, no? Hee hee. They really do love that hee hee thing. They really do love that hee hee thing. It's like, ooh, we didn't check out the skills. Shropshire, Abercrombie, but no Fitch. Ooh, another Emden. Many Emdens. And last to round this off, of course, the one and only Pepsi Cola. So yeah, 80 pulls to get every ship we needed to get, except for Zadelids. Which, well, she, with an 0.5% chance, you'd expect her to pop up more than Warspite, that's for sure. Given that we have buckets of ducats and buckets of cubes, I'll do this. I don't like having less than, well, I suppose my minimum that I like to have is 1400 cubes. That's sort of my minimum. But I usually start trying to spend my cubes for this sort of thing in, unless there's only like long researchers. I usually only spend them here if I've got 1800 cubes or above. But it's perfectly fine. I've got a metric crap ton of cubes. But I know they can all just disappear in a moment. Let's put it this way. The ship that took me the most pulls to get wasn't New Jersey, it wasn't Shinano, though she took me 170 pulls, which is 340 cubes, which is pretty steep. It wasn't Ludwig von Hutten. It definitely wasn't Kronstadt. She only took me like 60 pulls to complete that event. It was this little bastard here. Where is she? Little bastard that... Why are you, my little bastard? Where are you hiding from me now? Jesus Christ. Where is she? Mayebresan. No, Mayebreze. I believe it should be pronounced. 220 pulls together. 220 pulls. It was brutal. Absolutely horrific. One of the worst things... Yeah, one of the worst events for me. I got multiple copies of, what's the name? It wasn't Emile Bertrand. Have at level 99, but she Le Terrible. Multiple copies of her, sure, but everyone else, nope. Everyone else was specifically Mayebreze. Just retire everything. Screw it. Screw it. And since we already know that we won't be pulling on the event pool anymore until the next event, that is to say, see if we can change the stream title. And let's pretend we're all professional, you know. I like to pretend that I'm a professional streamer, you know. After all, we have only the most professional streams around here. I'm sure you know. Now let's see. Where can I change my stream title? Here we go. Take out that little pause thing at the end of it, because we're not pulling anymore. And there we go. Should update momentarily. Regardless, this is our locked Emden. Let's level her up. Boost that XP to monstrously high levels. Limit breaker. Yep. Because we got lots of money to spend. Thank you for the strength, my darling human. You make good decisions sometimes. Hee hee hee. I'll never be able to say that hee 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 normally. Yes, yes, yes. Second verse, same as the first. And you, let's get you to that respectable level 87, like having my ships at. Used to be level 85, and it became 86, 80, you get the point. I know we want a CL gun for you. I suppose this gun could be good, but I don't know if I'm going to be using you, so I'll leave you fairly unequipped for now. Yeah, I'm just going to leave you bare bones. I suppose I'll give you one of these naval camo things. What is hydraulic steering gear? Steering gear. And that's you done. Next, Litsov. We didn't get any duplicates of you, unfortunately. So, oops. Gotta level you up first. This process is fairly tedious, but it's something I like doing because, well, we are incentivized to limit break them all the way up because that's one of the event goals. And I always, well, have a good supply of Purins, actually, gold bullets. So I might as well do it. So you're done. Then we need to do the same thing to York. Or York. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it in the German way. York. Huh. Skills are Devotion to Precision. Increase the ship's firepower and accuracy by 5%. When a ship attacks an enemy DD, her accuracy further increases by 1%. And Marvel of History, which is, yeah, I guess it's the name of a type of skill. Decreases the ship's torpedo damage taken by 5%. Which I imagine it goes up to 15. Every 20 seconds, deploys a shield, can block up to 3 enemy torpedoes last 20 seconds. Well, yeah, you're not very exciting, are you? But hey, you're a ship. And we love all ships around here. In appropriate ways, of course. Well, I must say I'm pleasantly surprised. Oh, I managed not to make that sound too weird. There we go. That's good enough. Get you to level 87 as well. Go back to level 87. And find our, well, in quotation marks, beloved. What was her name again? Brand new ship, we just got her. I'll remember it eventually. I hope. Where are you? Elbing. I'm feeble, clumsy, cursed with terrible luck. I doubt I'll be of much of any use to you. Yep, Marvel history. Well, why don't you turn that frown upside down? Yes, yes. Why are we strengthening you of all people? Well, because we feel like it. Simply put. Don't have a particular soft spot for you, haven't we? But yes, the event wants us to do all these things. So we got 2,000 event points that go towards getting our well, this logo, whatever it's called. Got even more coins I need to spend. Lovely. collect whatever we have over here. Lots and lots of stuff, but nothing particularly good. Yeah, specialized bulletin. They clutter up my dock something fierce. Every 2 months you get one, and then you might get one from an event, like, presumably. Well, this one. Should get one. Oh no, you get them from the UR events, right? You get no damn choice whether you want it or not, essentially. Let's feed up our ships. They deserve to eat, don't they? I'm sure they do. So interestingly enough, we need to we've got our missions here. Clear A2 10, or C2 10 times with Queen Elizabeth and maximum break, and she must survive the battle, and Akagi. Both of them are at 120, annoyingly enough, so yeah, no experience to be gained there. Eldred is also at 120. The only one that I hadn't leveled up until, well, now was Sovietskaya Russia. Because I don't like Russian ships. I really do not like the Russian ships. There are a couple exceptions, of course. Kronstadt. And, what's her name? Tashkent. Well, Tashkent is, well, she was built in Italy, the Blue Cruiser herself. So, I suppose I have a bit of a soft spot for her. Being that she's Italian. She's Italian just like I am. In a way. Let's see, let's jump into the event, I suppose. Oh no, wait. Oh no, the dorm wants me to buy stuff, I'll do that later. Just keep on notifying me so I don't forget. First though, I wanna do my hard mode missions. Otherwise I will forget. And that's not good. Actually, before I even do my hard mode missions, I always keep forgetting this. Yes. As you can tell, I just installed BlueStacks. Well, BlueStacks 5 specifically. I used to use BlueStacks 4, but I was like, oh, you know, might as well. The game needs to update like 5 gigabytes. Let's just move the install to my D drive, keep the C drive a bit clearer. And let's leave this. Let's do a hard mode. I'll be back momentarily. Don't you go anywhere. And I'm back. So this isn't exactly performing... Well, BlueStacks 5 seems to be performing a bit better than... Well, the 4 was, but... Still far from perfect. Still lags a bit when all my battleships are firing. Since this is hard mode 12.4, let's talk about a bit why I chose this ship. Got New Jersey because she just deals a lot of damage. She's got that 10-second barrage, so she helps clear out the mobs pretty well. And she buffs up American ships, which we aren't really using, but if we were using them, they'd get buffed. More interestingly, we have Illustrious. These bosses can deal quite a lot of damage, so that shield there helps quite a bit. And she ain't half bad. Plus I had to level her up back a while back, so yeah. Ulrich von Hutten. She is only here for the one reason really, because she needs to be leveled up. And every little bit of XP helps, does it not? So she's just leveling up, she's pretty good, she's got firing every 10 seconds, helps clear out the mobs. Got some constant damage and slows down the bosses. What more could you want? Before that I was using Vittoria Veneto, who is very good, and she provides some torpedo protection, which is also the reason why I have Cheshire up front, AA protection in general, and she takes reduced torpedo damage, I believe, and Luca di Abruzzi, who also, well, takes less damage from torpedoes and provides that sort of thing to everyone else. Yurikazu Samanano Da is, I believe she also does that, and she provides a damage reduction and a heal, I believe, actually, to the main fleet. Interestingly enough, a pretty paltry heal, like from 10% buffs them up to 20%. It's only when they're on the brink of death, but hey, it's something. Pretty happy with the event polls so far. Let's take her out, shall we? Drop some Kitikabam hammers on her. Make sure she gets well and truly pancaked. That will work. And especially New Jersey. New Jersey. I'm a big fan of New Jersey's YouTube channel. It's great stuff. Highly entertaining. Well presented as well. If you haven't checked it out, then I suggest you do so. It's great fun. Big fan of it. Huge fan, one might even say. I suppose that's a bit of an exaggeration, but this loading screen is thankfully pretty tame, but that can't be said for every single one, that's for sure. This is hardly the most interesting part of our routine, but it's something that needs to be done, I suppose. Those core data chips, I believe they are. That's what they're called. Whatever they are. Well, I spend at least 1,600 a month on black shells and white shells. Because unlike some people, well, some smart people actually. Smart people who are like, you know, we're not using more than 12 ships, or 24 I suppose if you're for Asian side, at any given moment in time. But what we are doing is, well, we don't need to equip more than 24 ships really, we can just switch between them. But I'm not about that. I like having my best ships with the best equipment, my second stream ships with good equipment, and every other ship with tolerable equipment. So yeah, I have a monstrous amount of upgraded equipment, which is why I'm always running out of plates. And I have to use substandard equipment sometimes. Come on, just get out of here, Chokai. She's dead. Very dead. Oh, Ulrich got the MVP this time, that's useful. Ooh, more Justagram. Don't mind if I do. Must quickly try it out for ourselves. Spee! Meet me outside. Spee fight. Oh, how adorable. She's such a nice sister to Graf Spee. Admiral Graf Spee, I believe. I'm curious to try one. Are there any left? No, yeah, equipment. So let's go to the depot. I've got a bunch of stuff to craft up, of course, but I don't have much high-end equipment. I could get more wyverns, but I don't really use them that much. As good as they are hella expensive, but I suppose I can make another one now. Just I don't really need it on anyone, but I could stick one on Volga. Let's stick one on Volga. Yeah, I've got a few rainbow torpedoes, but I don't really use them. Those 533 quints are good. And I've got a bit of equipment. It's not that much, it's not a big flex. Because I don't have like the actual good stuff. And I've got plenty of stuff in general. Like, stupid amounts of 533 quads. I've got a few of these champagne guns. Don't really use them much. I prefer the 406 Mark 6s. And obviously the Mark 7s. Was it Mark 7 or Mark 8? The Mark 7, well, that's pretty much unique. And of course New Jersey gets it because she's a great ship and I adore her and I use her pretty much everywhere. She's great. Very, very strong. Now, let's see, what do we want to do? Ah, yes. Lab. Ooh, metal lab. Yeah, I'm not doing too well on this, but I did get all the Scharnhorsts that we needed, so. One good thing of having studied German and being Italian is that I can at least approximate a good pronunciation of the German and, well, actually pronounce Italian correctly. Not being a massive weeb though, it's the Japanese part that fails me. It somatically activate you. We got the money after all. I'm afraid this isn't nearly enough power. I need more. Scary stuff, very yandere. Except she ain't simulated, she's very, very real. Oh. Herpa never activated this. Let's get it going at least. I'm eventually gonna send you off into Operation Siren and make you big and strong. Just not quite today. Not yet. Let's grab all of you. What do you want to do? Oh no, yes, you're trying to sell me stuff. Well, whatever you're selling, I ain't buying just yet. No, we wanted to make another wyvern. So let's make another wyvern. We have to go to Torp and Dive Bombers. We can make you. We cannot make you. So we have to make you. Seem to have enough resources. Let's just use this full Mara I have lying around. The Furry Fulmar isn't exactly very good. Neither is the Blackburn Firebrand or the Firecrest. I suppose it's adequate. Man, are we running low on gold prints for aircraft. But no, what you really want to have is, well, the wyvern. And yes, we need you, so let's go back and get ourselves 9 of you. Haven't been doing much Operation Siren really, so pretty far behind on these. But I'm holding on to a few to see if I could possibly use them at one point. Lab, Kia Lab. Thank you, Kia Lab. Let's go and make some more Torp Bombers. Over here. Corp/Dive Bombers. Try that again, shall we? Firecrest. Into massive money sink, but we have the money now, so I'm good with it. Wyvern. What a money sink of a plane. Hot damn. Let's get you to plus 13 then. Or at least a plus 10. The plus 10 it is. Can't get you the plus 13. Don't have quite the amount of these that I want. On the plus side, I do have quite a few of these. Oh no, I spent a lot of them. Never mind. I had a lot of them. Dark, where is my Volga? She's right here. My Volga, Bulgaria. Very sisterly, very nice. Slower, sure, but stronger. Very good plane. The best torp bomber in the game. At least in terms of raw damage. In terms of actual damage, you might want a converging bomb if you're bossing. But mobbing, that's a whole different kettle of fish. Let's jump into the event, shall we? It's only taken us, what, an hour? Northern Parliament Control Center, commanding vessel. It's got Georgia and her Georgia Beam, and found out Georgia Beam is a voice actress or actress of some sort. Yeah, an Eldridge. Only a few days have passed since I returned from the Sea of Stars, but I'm still reeling from what I experienced there over those short few hours. Russian forces attacking someone immediately to their west. Where have I heard that one before? How's it possible for a plan of that scope to be kept secret for so long? Supposedly the plan itself was set in motion before the war even began. How many people in the Eagle Union or even the entire Azur lane know about this? Among those people, how many are able to see past the facade and mystique and actually grasp its down implications? Secrets within secrets, plans within plans. If anything, that lends credence to the Ash's suspicions. Many of the technological leaps made recently were actually tied to the servicing of the Sea of Stars project. The science will not provide anything to us that they do not want us to reverse engineer. And directly researching silent technology is too dangerous, as the possibility of it leading to dependence cannot be ignored, which is what the Iron Blood is doing. And to a somewhat lesser extent, the Sakura Empire. But looking at it from another angle, this is a completely different path that does not violate the principles of the Azur Lane. It avoids pitfalls and snared the Iron Blood. It is also different from the Northern Parliament's path. Commander, are you listening? Are you listening? Oh. Sorry, my mind wandered off a bit there. Let's be honest. Commander, if you're sleepy, then you should sleep. Eldridge will fetch a pillow. Oh, how adorable. Thanks, but I'm good. It's probably better not to promote sleeping on the job. Would you mind repeating what you were just talking about, Georgia? Sure. As you can see, we're still in the process of assembling all the fleets participating in this operation. Georgia begins her explanation of the current situation by directing my attention to the map posted on the wall. Apparently it had been updated several times for duration. During duration, I was thinking about other things. This is where our flagship fleet is located. We'll be working closely with the two Union strike team and our flags. Further back, in the rear is the reserve fleet. These fleets will form the core of the Eagle Union's task force during this operation. In addition, New Jersey will be leading the additional NA Ocean Strike team to the state. Okay. Back to normal, boys can't be bothered. She's talking too much. We expect to meet up there with two combined Northern Parliament fleets, led by Sovietskaya Russia, EU gross. Russian ships in the game are broken. Especially considering their lackluster contribution to the war. Absolutely lackluster. Irrelevant, if I do say so myself. The Northern Parliament fleets look a lot bigger than expected. What about those holding down the Polar Front? According to them, there shouldn't be an issue as long as this theatre doesn't turn into a war of attrition. Update me on the Sardinian fleet, of course. Who else could I care about? I like Sardinia, we're going to ignore the Royal Navy, just like Manju seems to be doing for the most part. Sardinia, of course. What do I care about the others? I mean, I like Eagle Union, I like Sardinia. Enough said. From what we know, the forces scattered across several major ports. They're doing fuck all, aren't they? After the attack on Rome, Sardinia has adopted strict defensive measures. Same thing I said before also holds true for Sardinia. The Royal Navy and Irish League movements. They are like to lead the Mediterranean, or refuse to call that. As for the Iron Blood, we've already been monitoring the large-scale movements. The signals alone would suggest that their fleet is several times more numerous than the Interarm. That basically confirms that the Iron Blood Navy will have already deployed signal interference, and they likely did against the Royal Navy. We're in the process of performing aerial recon to do visual confirmation of their action numbers. The same trick will work twice. Finally, we still don't know where their current flagship, Friedrich der Grosse, is located. I'll contact you as soon as we have an update. Thanks. So how does it feel being out on the battlefield for the first time, Georgia? Georgia's pretty badass. That's right. Well, how do I put it? I was expecting to be on the front lines doing something a bit more glorious. No, expected to end up as the command ship and combat secretary. I mean, you've got 457mm guns, you should be out blasting things to pieces. But at the same time, I also want to interact with you, because Georgia's great. Not as good as Seattle, of course, in the PR department, but so a bit different from what I was expecting, but not a big deal at the end of the day. What's your overall view of the current situation? Judging by the numbers, we have a significant advantage in the head. Because this is a joint operation organized by different factions and fleets, it may be difficult to keep everyone on the same page. The Median Blood always seems to have this capricious, unpredictable element to them. Until the dust settles, we won't know what tricks they'll have up their sleeve, no we won't. Good. You know what they say, never underestimate the enemy. Let's proceed with caution and stick to the plan. Rest assured, you have plenty of opportunities to demonstrate your power on the battlefield. Also, one last thing. Got another question for me, Commander? As you can see, we're still in the process of assembling all the fleet participating in this operation. About Aldrich, she's After a lot of searching, we found Aldrich asleep on the floor not far from the ship's hatch. Zzz. The most logical conclusion is that Aldrich fell asleep hugging the pillow because it was too comfortable. How adorable. Yeah, I love those. 457mm guns. 1, 2, 3. Just like her design. I like how it sticks out from her back though. Commander, you're pretty worn out yourself. You need a lot of focus once the operation starts, so why not rest up before then? Just watching Eldred's peaceful slumber fills me with drowsiness as well. I think I'll take you up on that bit of advice. Sure, well, Scarpa Flow, an important Royal Navy base, was taken by the Iron Blood in a surprise attack. And though this, I'm amazed they actually took Scarpa Flow, but yeah. As though this event would seem like a boiling point in the two factions' relationship, the attack was instead followed by an unexpected period of tranquility. But what undercurrents flow beneath its tenuous peace? A ploy engineered by the Iron Blood, cunning rebuttal by the Royal Navy, or perhaps a greater truth that towers above petty conflicts. Towers is capitalized. In the calm before the curtain rise, the shifting pieces can be heard within the silence. Preparations for battle, the humming of a singularity and the intersection of fates. Listen well to the Rondo that is about to be played, for true peace can perhaps only be found at the rainbow's end. So I'd imagine that the Iron Blood, since they have Scarpa Flow, are resurrecting the ships that were scuttled there during World War, or at the end of World War I actually. So that was a whole lot of reading. Rondo at rainbow's end, yes. Jesus Christ, that was a lot of reading. Hard mode. Entract. Who are we sending in to die for us? Ours is not to ask why, ours is to do and die. And more specifically, well, we want Queen Elizabeth to be in our mob fleet and Akagi to be in our boss fleet. At least for this first part. We really need conch ships. They're so... I don't know. They're hard to come by these days. You always need more. Okay, so we know we want QE. There she is. And we want light cruiser / destroyer. Given that I was working... Well, I won't be running them so much as the ones in Let's send you in Karlsruhe. But I do want to level Karlsruhe, so let's send someone weaker. Bulldog. Bulldog, I don't know, I like her. Even though she's only common, she's not very strong at all. But let's send them, let's give her a bit of support though. Let's send Shiny Chef. Or Pink High, I suppose. Both Yatsen and Ninghai are 120, so let's send Pink High. To give you a marginally better AA gun, so at least something gets shot out there. You have a tolerable equipment, I suppose. Some tolerable. Let's send a carrier along with you. Let's find one that isn't too leveled up. Impero. No, but I'll be using Impero in the other one, so I don't really want to use you here. I like Impero. Impero's a good ship. Elba, I guess. She's pretty terrible at everything. I mean, she does say she's a very, very bad girl, so no, that's a Shangri-La. Start leveling you up. And that's like giving you some better equipment, goddamn. You only have trash on you. Level you up. Oh no, but yeah. Let's send Elba. Hopefully her equipment is a bit more up to standard. Oh, no, can't send Junior there. Taiho will be sent over to the other one, so... Next, and the other one will probably Taiho, Imperial, and... what's her face? And Super Gamer Kazuna AI, perhaps. Or North Carolina. I have to think about that. Let's send Elba. What's the airspace control value looking like? Almost sufficient. I love the Hellcat. I love the design. What can I say? I'm a sucker for American ships. Elba's not that good, so she's not... Oh no, she's really not that good. I haven't leveled up any of her skills either. I like leveling up the skills before using a ship. Good God, hearts out of battle. You know, let's just send you in. Skills unleveled, I'll upgrade you later. Give you slightly better AA guns too. A quad bow first, sure. Not even a good quad bow first, just a purple quad bow first. Your equipment is adequate, I suppose. Tolerable. There'll be a better word for it. Now we need to send I'll keep Perseus here. Because she can use her cross fleet heals. And we'll send in Akagi as well. Now, who will we be keeping on the front lines, though? Let's see. European leveled up actively. Karlsruhe, I guess she isn't actively being leveled up. But then I could just send her here. I mean, it's not like we have IJ enemies that Pink High can deal with particularly efficiently, so let's just send her here, I guess. Might as well. Gotta send her somewhere. And let's send in Shiny Chef. Sure. Cavalla going in. I'm so glad that there was a free skin for her, because I definitely wouldn't have wanted to buy it. But I use her, so I'm glad there was a free skin. Send in... I usually send in I-13. I know Albacore might deal more damage, but I like the bonus she gives. If I ever call her in, I'm not going to call them. They're too expensive. What we need to do now is give our fleet some Meowfisers. Do you like being a command cat, or Pound likes being a command cat? And Lime likes being the staff cat. Very soothing music coming from the cattery. Here, let's just send some Meowfisers that need leveling. So I believe it was Eagle that likes to be the command cat. No, he likes being a staff cat. Bishimaru likes being the staff cat too. But I don't really care. I suppose Takemaru can go in. You're almost leveled, so let's send you. An IJ in focus. Takemaru. Bishimaru. She doesn't have great skills, but she does have tolerable skills. Especially at 3% more damage for everyone. That is very good. For the submarines, it doesn't really matter, because I barely ever call them in. I just send in Steel as the command cat. Not like she cares. And Edelweiss. No, not Edelweiss. Kral. Kral. That's the... In we go, and for more reading. Jesus Christ, this game's got a lot of reading. NA Ocean, Southeast Sector E. Sakura Empire fleet advanced cautiously under cover of night. The Azur lane cleared the NA Ocean of silent poison. These waters have only become more dangerous for the Sakura Empire. No abnormalities detected in the water. At least it doesn't seem like any submarines are tailing us. My recons haven't run into any enemies either, so the route ahead of us should be safe as well. Thanks, Suikoku. Having said that, now the ceasefire agreement has been turned into scrap paper, these waters can turn to battlefields at any moment. There's one thing I don't understand though, Akagi. Why I decided to bring you along with this operation? I have my own suspicions already, but it all boils down to Friedrich's course at the Earth. The Ironbloods is at a massive numbers disadvantage compared to the entire Azur lane. Friedrich's deployment seems awfully unconcerned. Well, Friedrich is a tactical, strategic genius, presumably, just like Alter Fritz. Wasn't the greatest of generals, but he was an incredible warlord, that man was. While the forces are still being kept at the floating fortress, even the fleet station at the car hasn't moved out there. By all this, she invited us to meet her at the Scapa Rank and all places. If the fires come back to front door, but she's moving things around to the back of the house. I suppose so. She's planning. I find myself in agreement with Zukaku this time. Just there's something strange about Friedrich's invitation. Scapa Flow is quite close to the Royal Navy's homeland. The Ironbloods basically put themselves in an indefensible position. Their deployment decisions are completely contrary to reason, except they aren't. You can't rat on the plan. Even though she didn't say she was going to show something interesting. She did say she was going to show something interesting. How know we're not being dragged in to service her meat shields? It's a possibility. Target for good. Untouched mission. We should have brought more escorts, right? What good would that serve? The larger fleet, the easier it is to cover will be low. Secondly, the more numbers we bring, the more tantalizing it will be for Friedrich to use the meat shields. Even if you feel wrong, I don't think we should be playing with our lives here. I have much more knowledge in this era's intel than you, so don't worry about troop deployments. These forces always operated from the shadows. I'm not keen on the way she acts like a high and mighty puppet master, yeah, but so do you. But I do know she won't lie. In the invitation was the mention of showing us the possibility. I'll learn is enough. That is the true purpose of why we journey thousands of miles from the Sakura Islands. Since we are not able to enter the heart of the NA Ocean, we must not miss this opportunity no matter what. What does another possibility even mean? Like that face she's making. You understand it when you see it. You want to know why it pulls you along? I'll admit, a part of it is just me acting on a whim. But more importantly, you want to know too, don't you? I'm aware that the new combined fleet has been keeping an eye on me, and that many of you disagree with my decisions. Yeah, because there was sort of a schism in the Sakura Empire between the new combined fleet and the Nagato. And Akagi's faction, which is the more sneaky, the win at any cost faction. And the combined fleet seems to want to have a better relationship with the Azur. One thing fair to consider, we are looking at the same reality. Wow. From what I've seen, I will make the same decision again. Okay, he leaves. See my reality, would you go to hold the same beliefs? My beliefs not easy to shake, but I do hope to be able to understand your point of view a little better. That way I can truly convince you to choose another path. We'll see. What kind of performance will the armed look put on for us this time? Akagi's got a distinctive laugh. That's for sure. There we go. Armload Jangwa. Under-reflects the armload is jamming that. Until you engage an enemy fleet, you won't be able to determine its type. Or if it's real. Scary stuff. First things first though, let's deal with you. We've got a very much second stream group of ships. But it's okay. I believe in them. They're not very strong, they're unskilled, some of them even. Poorly equipped, but they are massively overleveled, so we shouldn't have any trouble here. Assume direct control. Man, I should probably play some more Mass Effect. Come on, Queen Elizabeth. There we go. Elite fleet dealt with. Don't you worry, girlies, there's another one. Actually, I just noticed something. We're using double line advance formation, which I'm not a big fan of. Flatten her. 5,300 damage, yeah. When you look at it like that, I think Lutzov's skill that deals 3,000 damage on a 10% chance isn't really that good. Ooh, Cowspiller is MVP. Eh? I won? Yes you did, yes you did. That's a lot of fleets. I'm sure only some of them are real though. It's only something slightly annoying, I suppose. Hardly an inconvenience, really. Yeah. I mean, they barely pose a threat to us. By barely, I mean not at all. We're just too strong. Too damn strong. But it's understandable we are massively over leveled, it's only the first level of hard mode. Off we go, next one. This loading screen is also fairly tame, thankfully. Witness the might of Super Dreadnought, yes, sure, but compared to the Iowa, you're like half as big as the Iowa, I think. I think this placement where she was like, how heavy was Queen Elizabeth? Like 20,000, 25,000, 30,000? Probably like half as big as the Iowa. Let's use the power of technology to figure out just how big she was. And just how heavy. She was just over half as big as, yeah, an Iowa. Significantly slow of course. Fewer smaller guns. I mean, Mark 1 15-inch guns, which are damn good guns, but they aren't Mark 7 16-inch guns with super heavy shells that the Iowa got to have. Nothing like that self-proclaimed spiritual leader indeed. Just in the horizon, first vestiges of anchorage became visible to the second fleet. The Kagi were about to arrive at the Scap Flow. It seems like the Royal Navy hasn't even mobilized any force in the area yet, let alone launch a counterattack. The Moon were caught off guard by a surprise attack? Perhaps, but look closely, Zuikaku. Now there are any signs of fighting here. It seems like the Iron Blood has taken any facilities for their own use either. They drive out to the Old Navy and then leave things alone? Or was the Iron Blood never interested in occupying Scap Flow in the first place? Isn't the Scap Flow anchorage critical to the defense of the Royal Navy's homeland? Wouldn't make any sense for them to just quit it without a fight. It's possible that the Iron Blood need this area to conduct some sort of experiment, but that still doesn't explain the absence of Royal Navy ships. Hard to say, just be glad we can have to fight our way to the spectator seats. Let's go, I'm sure Friedrich will seem to provide answers to our questions. Scap Flow anchorage. Wow, even those places enclosed by islands, there's so many waterways leading out. Seeing this in person really makes you appreciate just how powerful Mother Nature can be. I suppose it does. Akagi, what's the ship over there? Looks mass-produced, so it's really an old-fashioned model. As the fleet entered the harbour, the shadow of a large moored warship loomed in front of them. This is a Queen Elizabeth class? Doesn't look anything like the mass-produced ships we've seen before then, because it's not. This is a warship that predates the mass-produced ships of our era. We are ships born from wisdom cubes, but these vessels are constructs assembled from steel protecting the seas long before our time. With the advent of wisdom cubes, humanity built these vessels, and they became the blade they wielded. Nowadays you only find transport ships and rare models of mass-produced ships made the old-fashioned way. Unlike modern mass production, which can churn out a large number of ships in a short amount of time, each one of these warships had unique designs and a long construction process. Oh yeah, they did. That's why we, the ship goes up here, the older vessels were quickly phased out of production. Even the mass-produced ships are little more than mementos of a bygone era. They serve forces assist us in our operations. Yeah, pretty much. Like, who wouldn't want a warship that can just be constructed in instance? But some things for the best. The era when these warships were the only line of defense against the silence was a tragic one. Rather than being scrapped like so many others, at least you're able to spend the rest of your lives in the relative peace in this harbour. Wonder what would have happened to our past forms, if they could have preserved them into an secure peace. But judging by this warship's presence, it seems that even the Iron Blood can't touch the past. I wonder if we had any warships like this back in the Second Empire. Who knows, it's something we stopped carrying about long ago. Oh, there's the museum ship, Mikasa technically, and probably some other museum ships. Kage and Ironblood ships coming our way. Several Ironblood ships will rule along the coast of the hub. Ugia, or Eagle. You've come a Kage of the Sakura Empire. But they, esteemed guests, have added August from possible. The person invited by Friedrich, of course. Ugia and August from possible. Now look at these blueprint ships. I can see the curiosity in your eyes, but save that for later. Guided by the Ironblood ships, Kage and the fleet made their way deep into the harbor. Right this way. Friedrich is in Intriguing. Intriguing. This fleet should be good enough to take out the boss regardless. I did use Bulldog in the anti-submarine role for a while, but I suppose that she might have been used for 2-1 farming back in the day when that was still a thing. Double line advance ability. Less damage but more evasion. I don't really want them sinking on my watch. Unnecessary here, but I don't really like changing that. Very nice. It's annoying how we've got the out of armor debuff, so it only doing half damage, but half damage is still pretty good damage. Plus, even with half damage, Queen Elizabeth is monstrous compared to these guys. He's only an alright ship, mind you. It's got a good buff for HMS ships, so Royal Navy, but beyond that, she isn't exactly, how can I say, very good. Hell, whilst even though the Royal Navy does have the incredible, the beyond busted Perseus, best ship in the game, arguably. Ooh, Bulldog got to 110. How cute. Yes, you are an idiot and a pervert. Clearly. You truly are a dumb pervert. I could upgrade a gun, I suppose, but I'm always running out of gun points, so I'm not sure if that would be worth it or not. But you wonder how this works though. If there's a if the amount of whether a ship is a mirage or not is arbitrary, if it's something that's rolled every time it's predetermined. So there will always be X amount of ships on the stage, or if it's something that's rolled when you encounter it. I think it's probably the first option, but I can't be sure. I cannot be sure. This was a good one. Please don't touch my head like I'm a child. I mean, we are sending literal children-looking ships into war, so And Bulldog isn't even the most childlike, that's a problem. Flatten them. Nice job, Queen Elizabeth. Nice job, everyone else too. So I suppose there are 9 fleets. Big fleet. But it might vary. Your mileage may vary. Don't think it does, but it may. Come on, take them out. Okay, we're almost done. Oh, Elba took some damage. Elba's, yeah, she's got a great design. I'm just so annoyed that she's such a weak ship. Because they have amazing designs for some ships, they just make them utter crap, which is a shame. But I think it could be fixed by introducing even more common and rare ships, because they're not doing that anymore. Because, I don't know, there are definitely ships that have had such short careers and have done so little in their careers, or have served in relatively peaceful conditions despite the war, that they could be made common, or rarer at the very least. Like America has hundreds of destroyers, like Fletchers, and what's the other one? The Benson class. So many ships. Oh no, more reading. Scarpaflow Anchorage. No, Anchorage isn't here, it's Friedrich. It's a pleasure to see you again, my allies from the Sakurai Empire. Certainly it feels like an eternity has passed since our banquet in Sardinia. The recordings have yet to rise. I'm quite impressed with this stage that you served. How are you able to take Scarpaflow without a fight? A performance like this is best enjoyed by select view, without the interruption of a boorish audience. I just say employ if you like tricks. Are you not worried about Azur bringing down the entire theatre? I heard that staging area includes this area as well. It would be a pity if they barged into your performance. You face the combined might of the Azur and must stand against the commander. Not the commander. That's us. Jamming can buy you some time, but they will see through those tricks soon enough. You're right, indeed, my fleet alone is unable to defeat the Azur. Ask to call upon Sakurai Empire's aid. Will you join us? I'm glad you acknowledge the capability of the Sakurai Empire. I must decline your offer. I will not come here to take part in your play. Of course, I have no point to expect you to agree. And it's like you have no intention of participating in this play either. Evidently, are you familiar with the incident that took place here at Scarpaflow? If I remember correctly, that was when the silent attack on Scarpaflow. That was a silent attack on Scarpaflow during the last Great War, right?
Clowns ambushed the Angular fleet and the Azur Lane's leadership made the decision not to assist them. Ooh, spicy. So it's not like in real world where they were scuttled. The Ironblood fleet that fled into the harbour was completely annihilated, and that incident became one of the chief factors that led to the Ironblood withdrawing from the Azur Lane. Yes, a fairly standard answer. That's what everyone has agreed on. Don't you think that some things doesn't quite add up though? Even though Silence were already a common enemy of humanity at that point, why would the Ironblood main fleet flee into Royal Navy harbour? In other words, it's Royal Navy in the Ironblood. And why is it that only the Ironblood fleet got wiped out? I've heard another account of events, I'm not sure how reliable it is. What is it? There's actually no surprise attack, but rather something went wrong when the Ironblood was trying to capture Silence for their own purposes. Royal Navy was also caught in a crossfire, and Scapaflow's facilities also suffered severe damage as a result. So saying, the Ironblood invited Silence into the harbour. Who knows what the truth really is? Maybe Friedrich has some insight. After all, we weren't invited here simply to chat, correct? I like her whole conductor theme she's got going on. Friedrich the Corsair was a great lover of music after all. They said that history is written by the victors, but the writers compose a narrative. We are not writers, we are warriors. What is a record in comparison to the scars of war? What's the truth of the battle is? Enough of your senses bloviating, Friedrich. You could have hired Jessica to let the sun talk circles all day. A small girl suddenly burst into the room in the middle of Friedrich's monologue. Queen Elizabeth? That's right, you're the presence of the Queen. I love how they call her a small girl. She isn't exactly endowed in any department. Although she's definitely more mature than other ships. Still very childish. What an impetuous child. Wait, this isn't making any sense to me. Why is the leader of the Royal Navy here? Well, it seems like you got your hands on a much more than an antiquated warship. To think that Queen Elizabeth would be doing something like this. Didn't expect this level of subterfuge from her personally, but she's a lot more competent than she lets on. And hey, there's that Queen's Orders anime coming out now, so you have to see more of that. See, so this is the secret behind the Ironblood's little transaction. Control the Scapaflow in exchange for the little Queen's safety. Color me surprised by the extraordinary lengths to which you go, Friedrich. You can hold on to what a major faction leaders hostage. As if. If anything, it's the other way around. Friedrich is coming under supervision of the Royal Navy. Of the Royal Navy. I wish I could do some sort of anime voicing, because her whole tsundere act is quite amusing. Besides, if I were to hostage you, I wouldn't be moving around freely. Indeed, what kind of hostage would have a luxury barge engine to kidnap with speech while Queen Elizabeth had, don't we? Good grief, just how much you love listening to yourself talk. You could ask me the same question. Belfast and the others are almost done with their preparation. The singularity is getting hard to maintain, so I need to have them head over soon. You should know what really happened at Scapaflow, and I shall show you the truth. But well, yes, Lane is making progress faster than expected, so we must make haste. I look forward to hearing the piece you play for us, little Queen. And hear it you shall. Queen Elizabeth pulled out the communicator and pressed the button, issuing her instructions to the recipient on the other end. In that moment, the still waters of Scapaflow suddenly became turbulent, and the servers at the sea began to cave in. From the crevice rose an empty sun. Oh, so that's what it was. The gateway pulsating with otherworldly energy. Allow me to welcome you once more, esteemed guest from the Secular Empire. Hearken to the coming of the final movement. Damn, she got an evil face there. But that's okay, we oathed her. So I'm sure she wouldn't hurt us. Right. No, I'm not so sure about it, honestly, but definitely less murderous than Junyo. Or was it? It was Junyo, the murderous one. Less murderous than Ron. She is absolutely brutal. And Lone Queen of the North. Seems to be absorbing this damage pretty well, actually. Annoyingly well. Thankfully, Alba's on duty. Come on, back low. Main fleet. Get the firing. So actually doing fine. And not quite dead, she just fled actually. Sometimes that happens. But it still counts as a victory. Ooh. Look at that. Well, actually, Alba did quite a lot of damage. This doesn't look quite right. Enemy. 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 Oh god, more reading. On instruction of Queen Elizabeth, the new singularity rose above the waters of Scarlet Flow. A steady stream of energy seeped from the ring of light surrounding the gate, evaporating the surrounding seawater into a fine mist. Contrast to its intimidating form, a rainbow glistened within the shining mist, the road stretching beyond the gateway. My, this is rather unexpected. Is this based on the Ironblood singularity research? No. This is much more advanced than anything I've seen before. Judging by the look on the little queen's face, the Royal Navy seemed to have played a part. And speaking of Royal Navy, they'll probably be the next event, because they seem to be taking a bigger role in the story again. So probably the next UR might be an older ship. And if I had to guess, I'll say it now on the record, the next UR might be HMS Dreadnought, by the way things are looking. That could be a good ship. Could be... I mean, Warspite's already UR, and she was obviously the obvious choice. I don't know much about the British naval history, not as much as American naval history at least. So, yeah. I think Dreadnought could make an appearance. Maybe if they're going for a newer ship, HMS Vanguard. She could also be a UR, given that she was the last battleship ever built. I'll leave it to your imagination. What I will say is, none of this conflicts with my child's wishes. See. I also assume that you didn't put on the show just to talk to us, just to ask us to close the singularity. Correct. Beyond singularity lies the truth. What happened at Scap Flow as well as Anti-Seek. Wait, hold on. It's a bit much to take in all at once. What's the deal with the singularity? Are you saying they have to go through it? There's another branch of all parallel to ours. This gateway does not lead directly to another world, provided to a real sea of sorts that protects the records of the natural calculation system, Jesus Christ. You're dragging in Laplace's D-Van into us, aren't you? So, if I'm understanding this correctly, it's different from the realm where you retrieve those battleships. And then the information we have comes from reports you've given us. I know that safe pass to singularity. What proof can you offer that beyond this door lies things that you promised? Well, it's an event in a game, so it's probably gonna be fine. I want to see the truth, Kaga. Then I shall remain here until you return. Suit yourself, Kaga. Agio and Argos from possible remain behind as well then. If the Azur comes, you know what to do. Understood. Hehe. Don't underestimate me, Friedrich der Große. Just who do you think I am? Or some kind of ego, clearly. Jinsu, contact Yamashiro's group. Provide them with instructions on how to get here. Will you be coming with us as well, little queen? Of course, and stop it with little, and the queen. Just Elizabeth will do. I've already done some preliminary scouting, so follow my lead. Well, your name is literally Queen Elizabeth, so... Queen Elizabeth was the first to disappear to the gate. Man, I'm still not sure what to do about this. It's fine. I'm sure about this. She may seem moody and fickle at times, but she's the leader of the Royal Navy for a reason. I still don't know what that reason is, though. The fact that she went in first, you saw it enough proof that it's safe. That's true. You can trust it for now, Zukeku. I'll wait my instructions once you're inside. Got it, Akagi. Again, Zukuku disappeared into singularity as well, with Julia the Gossip following right behind them. At long last, our Rondo finally begins. Jesus Christ with that creepy face. Oh, lovely. We've got one thing we didn't really need, and one thing we do need, and nothing we do need. Let's get you up and running. See if there's anything we can buy. In this shop, naval curry, sure. You're useful. And some gear skins too. Ooh, I like it. Spectral Manju Fighter. Sidestep Souls too? Guess so. Yeah, this whole event, the skins have a very bloodborne, very gothic vampire feel to them. I like it. What more does that say? Are there any left? Nope, I already snagged all they had. If you want one, come get it. For free, how generous, save a seat at the table for me. That is generous. Earn cake to give to Lil Prince, or you can raise her trust and great rewards and have her formally join your fleet. Okay, we've got the stuff from her. Operation Siren no Matter Showdowns. But yeah, we need to do a bunch of things to get her all the way. Oh, we can get her to level 10. That can be done easily enough. She isn't exactly a very good ship, I feel. Then again, none of the baby ships really are. They're usually, well, quite lackluster, actually. But hey, they exist, and I want to have her in my library, my collection. After all, I've got 99.8% collection rate so far. Only one that I'm missing aside from her, and well, Sadelids from the event, would be also the other one from the event. What's her name? Aside from the event ship, would be New Orleans. But that's because I haven't done chapter 14 yet. We need to love her. Let's grab onto you. Oh, I can get. The more I level her, the more stuff I get. Lovely. She will not leave the port. Not my supervision. Okay, it's just that. I won't limit breaker fully because I need those to upgrade another chef. Specifically, can we find her? whatever. Thüringen. Let's go Thüringen. I can get level 90 and 5 stars, but I don't quite have the purple booleans on me right now. I've almost gotten her, yeah, I only need 10,000 to get her. We're already at 7,700, so just upgrade her and we'll easily get there. Not a problem in any way, shape or form. I haven't got even more cake points, there we go. So yeah, as fun as that's been, I don't think I'll be streaming Azur late again. It's not particularly enjoyable to me. There is a lot of reading, and that's what there was to stream and get this event started and get my polls done. I don't think it's really my thing, streaming Azur late. I might do it in the future as a sort of just chatting segment, so not when I'm running through the event myself, but just something I'll fire up, and instead of just chatting, essentially, just play Azur lane, leave it on there in the background while I might take answers and stuff from chat. But that won't be today, far from it. Today, I very much think I'm done. Tired, I've eaten a lot. It's pretty damn late. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys maybe on Sunday, maybe on Monday. Probably not on Monday, actually. Maybe next Tuesday. Oh, we'll have to find out. Regardless, thank you all for watching. I've been Moris, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night. Goodbye.